What up, YouTube? Well, welcome back. So I want to talk about the Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul boxing match that happened, and just more so folks' people's reaction to the situation and the outcome of the fight, right? And more specifically, black people's, and even more specifically, black men's reaction, right? And I'll say that, I'm a little, I guess, surprised in a way about black people, especially black men's reaction about it. But then again, maybe perhaps really I shouldn't be if you really start thinking about things. But yeah, I'll say that a little taken aback, right? So, if those of you who don't know, I'll just give a quick breakdown of it. Jake Paul, he's a YouTuber. He had a boxing match with Nate Robinson, retired basketball player. Jake is white, Nate is black. Jake won the fight with a knockout. And, folks, for some reason, black people, especially seem to be just taking so much glee in this seemingly. I'm like, well, what's the glee about? What's the big deal per se? Like, why are you giving this so much attention? And I know we on quarantine, we socially distancing, I'm not sure if this happened before or after Thanksgiving. I don't know. It's been a minute, so I don't know for sure. I think it may have happened after Thanksgiving, or I don't know. But, folks ain't got really much to do, I guess, they may be bored from teleworking, they may be laid off, so maybe that's it. But yeah, black people, especially black men, though, are really making fun of Nate Robinson about this. And I'll say that Jake Paul, he has, from what I heard, he has really trained and seemingly taken it seriously. And I think maybe people may be taken a bit aback by maybe Jake's demeanor at times, because I guess he's a bit kind of like goofy. So maybe they didn't think that he would be able to really handle himself in the ring, you know. Although now Jake, he's trying to go after, I think Conor McGregor or something. I'm like, you might want to calm down a little bit there, And just hold on just a little bit. But folks will be interested to see that fight. I'm pretty sure, But yeah, folks, and I think it was like now there's like that situation went viral, and now there's a challenge, like I guess the Nate Robinson challenge or something, pretending to be like knocked out or something. Like that's something that's going around social media too, especially amongst like black folks. One of those people were the rapper the Baby, kind of doing it, and he was with Jake Paul, and partying, partying it up with Jake Paul, you know, and just a bit weird. You know, is this an example of black men being off code? You know, I think so. And ultimately, as well, I think that when it comes to black men in code, I think more so it's, I think that the code isn't necessarily because of brotherhood per se, just like the code with white people isn't necessarily for the love of white people. It's more so for the love of the system of, the system of white supremacy, right? And I think it's sort of similar with this situation too. The code isn't for the brotherhood. It's more so for, I guess, just, I don't even know in this case though, you know. Yeah, but yeah, so I saw that and I was, taken aback by that. I thought that maybe like the Baby should, I didn't think he would be caught in this video doing that, right? But then again, this is a man who gave himself gave himself the rap name the Baby. Really, that's probably my biggest gripe. My biggest beef with him would be the name. I'm like, yeah, but that's what he chose to name himself. And some people are saying like, well, that could be a sign of something when it comes to mentality, right? You know, and this, there's some people who feel like, this is just a black men celebrating this. It's just speaking to how far gone they are when it comes to being in the system of white supremacy, right? And being affected by the system of white supremacy. That could be true as well, and being very much, I guess, maybe white male identified. The black women are black male identified, and the black men are white male identified, right? They identify with the white men, and the black women identify with the black men. And, that's just the chain of commands, I guess. I don't know. But I'll say that low key, I am glad that this happened in a way, just so that it does sort of like knock black men down a peg or two. Because sometimes some black men be feeling like they just the best thing ever that walk the earth while not doing anything to actually contribute to anything and still feeling that way. And like, you do gotta work for something. You do gotta put in some work. You can't just coast on being black and male. Like, there's a ton of people who are black and male. And of course, I can understand black people wanting to have pride in being black and pride in blackness, and that is great and very much needed. But at one point, it does cross a line, right? And I think this is, again, the situation is good to just, check black men and just say, hey, calm down. You know, you're not that awesome, right? And again, some of these black dudes be trying to compare themselves to black women too. That's a whole nother situation, though. Yeah, yeah, but black people, especially black men, or at least a group of black men, I'll say at least a segment, I'll say, really seem to have found so much humor in seeing like a black man getting knocked out by a white man. And that's humorous, you know. Isn't that a little odd? Isn't that a little weird? Like, I got a side eye that a little bit. Why is that? Why? Right? Now, I'm not really familiar with Nate Robinson. Now, if he was one of those types that was, like talks a lot of ish, you know, creates a lot of drama, stirs up a lot of conflict among people, and it's just like, okay, this dude got what he deserved. Now, in that type of situation, I'm like, okay, because there's some people who do need to get knocked out. Send them into the ring. We can gather them up and throw them into a ring and get them all knocked out. We can do that, but I'm not sure if this is the case. I'm not sure. But it does bring up a question, or bring up a situation, a question, whatever. Um, are black men supporting black men? You know, because it's always focused on like, oh, black women supporting black men, and that is important. Don't get me wrong, that's important and that's needed, of course. But what's also needed is black men supporting other black men. That is something that I don't think we really concentrate much on. It's typically always focused on what black women are supporting for some reason, you know, and I think folks are just a bit, I guess, afraid to ask black men about who or what they're supporting. And like, even with the previous, the past election, the past presidential election, like black men were, supporting Trump. Well, I won't say all, but a segment of black men were supporting Trump, which ultimately you can support who you want to support. But folks was questioning it, trying to question it, and then folks was getting attitudes about it, like, oh, as if they can't be questioned. But had this had been a segment of black women supporting Trump, oh yeah, you already would know it would be World War III, in the black community. folks when they had been talking about, oh, well, the Democrats don't deserve our vote. You know, why are y'all so beholden to the Democratic Party? You know, and I'm not saying that those things aren't true, but it's just like the excuses and the contextualization when it's like black men versus when it's black women are different, right? Folks, you know what happened to Chrisette Michelle, right? And I'm like, well, can Chrisette Michelle get uncanceled since it's cool, since it's okay now, you know? But, you know, if black men won't even support themselves and other black men, then why do you expect black women to support black men if black men ain't gonna even support black men, right? And even still, black women do support, you know? And but somehow, some way, it's a problem though. Folks will find a problem with it. But I think I've said all I have to say for the moment. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.